Hey guys, welcome back to Smash Anchor, and you've probably been seeing a lot of tournament footage from the recent Smash Drake-Its and even the Oko series at our school. And we thought it would be a good idea, after seeing a lot of tournaments and being able to see a lot of these players, to have a PR system in place, something that can go up and down, and since there's not really a very large prize so far, it gives players something to play for outside of, woo, I won. So, without further ado, my friend Tyler here, Moodle, he is currently at the top of the PRs, just for some very obvious reasons. He's consistent. He really doesn't drop games almost ever. Has won, I think, 3 consecutive tournaments so far. And then before that, I think he lost 1. And then had just consistently has been dominating all the tournaments he's attended. High amounts of wins outside of that. He's rarely ever in loser's bracket. And even when he is, he's gotten the reset before. But I think the main thing that's leading him to getting this high amount of wins and this overall domination within the scene that we have here is his character diversity that he has, leading to the high adaptability in playstyle. Because although he doesn't prefers playing some characters that he ends up winning with, he consistently does very, very well. If he's playing a certain matchup, his game against Darkstar is a great example of this, where he wasn't doing super well with Charizard beforehand, and then he shifted to Cloud because it's another character that he can play, ended up winning the set. Because he went from playing less of a bait and punish game with Charizard, and then shift to hyper aggressive, I'm going to stuff everything you try and do, and just completely shut you down approach with Cloud. Because he saw Darkstar was camping him out and playing defensively, and he couldn't do anything with his Donkey Kong or his Charizard. That type of play is what's leading him to getting all these wins, and I think that's definitely what puts him head and shoulders above everybody else as the #1 ranked player in our scene that we have here.
Second on the list would be 3D DOS or Quasar or whatever tag he's now using at the current moment. It's probably changed already. But there's only reason because he has a very high amount of wins. And that's not just like saying like the very large set wins of like high-end brackets, but more of just like anywhere within the bracket. It's not surprising to see like, oh, Deckle wins 2-0 over someone who just walks into the building, regardless if we know their skill level or not. A lot of recent wins against like Dylan a few times, but I mean we'll talk about Dylan a bit later. But he has a lot of more recent wins in tournaments, with whether it just be the set or the tournament itself. However, previously there's a lot of inconsistency, especially due to only having one main, which is just Ness. But a lot of people, even though they know you only play Ness, don't really bother to learn how to play against Ness, and that's also another reason of why you can always win and then just do almost the exact same thing on people every single time, yet they still don't know what to do. You almost always in grand finals, and the only one thing bringing him down is the poor performance at the June round robin, going against Jacob and Dylan. Pretty sure he lost 2, and it honestly just wasn't really a great showing. But,
yeah, getting 2-0'd by 3 rounds straight. I got 2-0'd by you, Moodle, and Jacob, Millennium, and Dylan consecutively are just a supremely poor showing. And speaking of Millennium, Jacob, who just when he used to main Falco, he made the tag Millennium Falco and kept it because it was just creative. And one of the main things that is putting him into 3rd place currently is he's consistent. He goes into a tournament, does his thing. He plays Luigi and Meta Knight for the most part. He does his thing. When he plays Luigi, he gets his grab combos. He doesn't really miss them. When he plays Meta Knight, he's doing Meta Knight things. He's doing dash attacks and dash grabs and always getting his follow-ups. And that's one of the main things that makes him strong. But he doesn't only play Meta Knight and Luigi. He's played Falco a lot in the past, and especially in his set against Tupwee, where he decided to not only Marth but also Cloud Ditto Tupwee. He won those games, and I think that shows that he likes playing a certain amount of characters, but he can definitely branch out in a very similar way Moodle can, but just to a much lesser degree. And you'll almost always see him in winners or losers finals. I don't think there's been a recent tournament where he's gotten kicked out before then. Very consistently, he's getting to the very ends of the bracket. However, another person who has been commonly kicking him out of bracket is Kanye or Kyle. So, Tyler, you've played against him more in bracket than I have. What are a couple things that you think are putting him into fourth place?
Definitely, only the reason why he's in fourth place is because of his low attendance. He's came to 2 tournaments total. I feel like if he were to come into more, he would be at the same skill level as Jacob or a bit higher, only because he's been taking me, especially to game 5, every single time we've played in large sets. The first time I played against him, he 2-stocked me as Lucina, and then he 2-stocked me again as I was playing Lucina. However, I did get the run back, which I was in losers, so I got the 3-2 with Cloud, and then 3-0'd right after. So he can play and adjust well to many, many different characters. It's just that, like, if you played stupidly broken, overpowered characters, like Cloud, for example.
He also plays Roy, and Roy's also very good.
Yeah, but, like, there's a lot of the high tiers he loses to, and, like, very, very badly, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you. When people start playing higher tier characters, especially characters that can be well off stage against the sword characters that he plays, which are Roy and Cloud, both having very susceptible recoveries, he definitely starts to falter a little bit, and dying at 30% is not something he needs. And although he's a very strong player, dying against any of the people above him at 30% is not something he can do if he expects to win, and that's really what holds him back. All the losses he gets are because something went wrong early.
Yeah.
When you were 3-0ing him, it was a lot of he was playing Cloud, you were playing Lucina or Cloud. You hit him off the stage or right at the ledge, and then you snipe him out of his jump, and then he's dead. And I think that's the main problem, is that he gets sniped out of his jump a lot, and his handling of himself defensively off stage is somewhat lacking in comparison to the way he can play offensively. When I was playing against him in one of the more recent Smash at Drake-Its, the very large difference between his defensive and offensive game was obvious. His offensive game is borderline oppressive, where you feel confined to your little defensive space that you have as you're running around flurrying attacks with Roy and Cloud, knowing that if you get hit once, you're probably going to get 40-50% and maybe die. But once you get him on the ropes, he starts to not be able... It's not that he can't pull himself out of disadvantage, it's more that his disadvantage doesn't last long enough because he's going to die because he plays Cloud and Roy.
Yeah. Also, he does struggle against heavy characters a lot. I remember at the most recent one, I took back all of those games by using Charizard and Donkey Kong after being down from Lucina, I think.
Yeah.
I played Lucina the first game, and
he has your Lucina's number.
Yeah, he knows how to fight against certain people, but if you go in playing someone that's just really unorthodox and really hard to play against, then definitely you already have to jump on him before you start the match. Yeah, then with Peter in, I don't know, 5th or something like that. Yeah, 5th. Peter in 5th. Peter recently has stopped going to many tournaments. He has a lot more things to worry about right now. But that didn't really stop him from doing very well whenever he did go to tournaments. Peter took a lot of games off of people and made all of those games really close. However, he didn't really get many wins throughout the entire tournament, like throughout the set itself. He has a lot of wins against Declan, actually. In previous years, I think 2 or 1 year ago, actually, at some of the OHKO tournaments. In the doubles tournaments, he was definitely a much greater threat because he played the game more actively. Peter stopped playing the game a lot more and has been investing this time in other things. But that's one of the main reasons, honestly. Yeah,
and that he does have wins against the tournaments he's gone to. He hasn't ever faced Kyle, but he does have, I think, set wins off of everyone above him. Yeah, and after Peter, we have Dillinator. Really, just one of the main things that is just important to note. He has hot and cold streaks. Sometimes he'll go on a hot streak, do really well, and then take wins against almost everybody else, including a crew battle we had a little bit ago, where he swept almost the entire thing single-handedly and only left 2 stocks on their last player after clearing through everybody else.
Yeah, and also with Dylan, one downside with Dylan, though, is like he can get tilted very, very easily. Like, if you play a very annoying character against Dylan and end up just like 2-stocking him or something, he's going to get very angered and play a lot more aggressively the next game, and a lot of players can take advantage over that. Yeah. Dylan doesn't really play characters that he can just go in aggressively with, or at least as well he would do, which, just running up and dash attacking someone is definitely not a valid strategy as Kirby per se. So Dylan loses too much to his own mindset rather than the game itself.
Yeah. Though I think it is important to note at the Smash the Drake at June round robin how he did have a really strong showing there, coming in second and getting wins against, I think, everyone but you, right? Yeah. And he had one loss throughout the entire round robin. So.
Okay, then we have Darkstar. Very unusual defensive Mario. And I don't know how he he had some really good timeouts as well. He had a few set wins throughout the entire tournament. He took 2 game wins off of me, but then I came back with the reverse 3-0 as Cloud, because Cloud's just dumb. But from there, he has really low attendance. That's the problem. Pedro, Axis, and Darkstar all have very low attendance in Smash Drake, also because they're not in Drake. But
Pelham.
Yeah, they're in Pelham. But it's a lot harder. Transportation is one of their main problems, honestly.
Yeah.
Going after that, we have Ethan, or the face,
the tilde face.
The tilde face. He's really inconsistent, but sometimes he can just destroy people out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think he does have set wins off of most of the top players at some point, because he has been going to Smash with Drake fairly regularly for about a year now, and I think he has set wins over most of the top players. I don't think he has one over you or Jacob yet, but he does have quite a few game wins, and I don't think you and Jacob don't consistently 2-0 him. He does usually get a game win on you guys, and it does show the fact that he does have a relatively high amount of skill, but sometimes he just makes stupid mistakes and goes for the lol, I'm going to go for the all or nothing dash attack. And one of the main things is, I think he probably would have had a set win against me a couple Smash Drake ago, when he got a shield breaker on me. I was playing Ness, he was playing Lucina, or I was playing Greninja, sorry, he was playing Lucina. And I was at like 60 at the ledge, and he jabs. He loses that game, and that's game 3. Because it was tied at 1-1, and then he basically throws the game away by jabbing out of a shield break. So it's stuff like that is why we can't put him higher. But I think one of the more important tournaments that we don't have on the channel, fairly old, is he did really well in the OHKO singles tournaments, even with all the massive amounts of disrespect and the suboptimal punishes. He finds a way to win a lot, and he got fairly deep in a bracket, I think getting to losers finals, I think it was, in the OHKO singles tournaments. Yeah, I think he got into losers finals in that tournament.
It was losers semis, actually. I'm pretty sure you versus Jacob losers final.
No, I got bopped. I only got 1 win. I got 2 losses in that tournament. I played Rob. Bright idea to play Rob against Captain Falcon, getting kneed out of my spot dodge. But wins like that are things that make us put him so high. But sometimes, especially when we were putting this together, I'm like, is Ethan here? Is this person above Ethan? Because you really don't know. Because he could always just drop a random game to somebody, or drop a random set to somebody. Especially because he just does stupid things sometimes. And that's one of the main issues that we have with putting him so high sometimes. But the wins that he has. And I think that's why he has to be this high, is that although he's not always the most effective at getting punishes, he does this thing, he does it pretty well, and I think that's why we have to put him above the person below him being Pedro.
And then we're just going to speed this up, actually. We're going to go through all these just quickly, like speed fire all of them. On number 7, I think. I don't know. Let's count.
I don't think we need to count at this point.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Number something. We got
the numbers are on the screen. You can see them.
They're somewhere. We got Pedro. Okay, Pedro. Game wins over 3D DOS. Did really well. He won. He beat Ethan completely. However, low attendance. Main problem, also from Pelham.
With Nathan, Green Mario, his advantage state is similar to Kyle, very impressive, and he gets a lot out of it. But as soon as he put in a disadvantage, he has problems getting out of it. Additionally, he doesn't have any tournament wins, and he just can't find a way to beat some of the top players.
Yeah, and then you got Muck, brings game very, very close all the time. Uses Peach's tool very, very well. Probably the best Peach player we've had at Smash Drake, besides that one other person who came in like once ever.
No, I think
I don't even remember.
I think Phil was a lot better
probably
at
still
post than he
better,
was.
honestly. And he's really, really good at making the run backs, especially when he's at the disadvantage. When he's at the disadvantage, he can always make the run back, and you shouldn't really undermine him.
Yeah. Next we have Turtle or Jack. He, again, similar to Nathan, he just can't beat the top players that we have here. And that's mostly because of his rudimentary playstyle. He plays Yoshi very simple. And once you kind of can find a way around him, you're going to beat him consistently.
Yes. Then you got Mightycus. Mightycus only been playing this game for a few months now, I think.
Like 6 months.
Six months? Maybe a bit less, actually. I've been teaching him.
And
I've taught him, so has Declan, for like a lot less than 6 months, maybe for collectively like a day. He can get very bored of the game very quickly. He's a Corrin main, and he has way too many. He has an extremely high amount of SDs.
Down and off the stage way too often.
Down and off the stage, up B in the opposite direction. However, if you were to move those SDs, I'm pretty sure you can put Andrew, just a few more spots up to the top there.
Yeah. Next we have Jaker333. Came to one tournament. He took one game off of me, but overall he's less competitive than people above him. The games that he loses pretty hard, and you find that it's just a lot of one move being used over and over. And when I said Turtle had rudimentary playstyle, Jaker brings that to a whole new level. It is one move over and over. Can you deal with it?
Yeah. And then you got George. George, that's his.
That was his tag.
His tag's George. He doesn't really play the game. George is a Marvel man himself, but he had a really strong showing against Ethan, I think, about one time.
Yeah, he got him. He brought Ethan. Ethan playing Game Watch got to like 140 on his last stock, and then Ethan brought back the other two stocks because he got like an up smash and then a down throw 9 and it was over. So, next we have, I'm being 100% serious here, Your Mom. That's his tag, is Your Mom. And he has fundamentals, but he doesn't have wins. And that's really it. He came to one tournament, didn't do super well. Starting off playing Little Mac, and I think that was part of the problem. But he has fundamentals, and that's why he's above our next player, who is at the bottom,
RJ.
just skirting the PR.
I never played the game before. RJ coming into here. Before we did his first match, I had to explain him the controls, which, I mean, that's perfectly fine. Honestly, casual play of the game is perfectly okay, especially if you just want to test out the tournaments. And he got an up tilt on me as Ganondorf.
No, it was side B. He got a down B, a side B, and an up
some
tilt
really
on you.
Stupid combo. I was playing as Kirby, and I almost died to it.
Yeah.
But then
You almost got zero to death by RJ.
it was RJ. Besides that, it seemed to be a heavy mashing game with RJ,
Yeah.
whereas that doesn't really work in Smash, honestly. In more, basic fighters, I guess it can work. It still doesn't work very well if anyone else knows how to play the game at all. But for Smash, it's like if you're button mashing, you're gonna fall off the stage.
Yeah.
If you're button mashing in Street Fighter, you might just be jabbing in place over and over again.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna instantly just kill yourself.
So that's it. RJ just barely skirting in at the last place in our PRs. We're going to update this every so often, especially if something big happens or if there's a big upset at a tournament. Probably going to do one towards the end of this year, covering the last 6 tournaments of the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you don't like these types of videos, leave it down in the comments below. If you do, tell us the same thing. So thanks, and I hope to see you guys next time.
Okay.